Bron Breakker, Oba Femi, they had a stare down last night, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a little critical of it, and by a little, I mean a lot. And it's not because I don't like Bron Breakker, but I said that we needed to rebuild Bron Breakker before going against Oba Femi. But instead of just complaining, we're going to fix Bron Breakker today and solve the problem of Oba Femi's championship opportunity after I tell you about your championship opportunity. You see this belt on my shoulder? I'm going to give it away. All you got to do to win is comment below and be a subscriber to the channel. That's right, you can win. It's not a toy. It's a replica and it can be yours. Okay, so this idea comes off a hot take from Carmichael. The stare down was not to establish Bron as a credible threat to Oba. Obviously, he's not. Not right now. He's not saying he never was, just right this second. I think it's meant to highlight how far Bron has fallen and to light a fire under his character because he used to be the guy who was going to lead the new generation. And after that interaction, he remembers who he is. Actually, Carmichael, you might be right. I didn't see that last night. So Oba Femi did come out and said, I am now the leader of the generation. And that rubbed Bron Breakker the wrong way. So what I would do is this. Bron Breakker, Austin Theory. They're the tag team champions. We got to get that belt off them. First thing I would do, have them defend the title against I don't care, somebody. And during that match, Bron Breakker is going to spear Austin Theory, and then he's gonna quit the Vision. We gotta get him out of the Vision, right? Now, I do recognize that that will kind of bury the tag team titles, but let's be honest, Triple H does a pretty good job of burying the tag team titles, and this will be reminiscent of when Shawn Michaels and John Cena were tag team partners, and they won the championship. Shawn Michaels was more worried about the big title before the championships, so he actually super kicked John Cena and purposely lost the belts. That's what Bron Breakker is basically doing here. Now, what will happen to Austin Theory? Like, honestly, I think it would be awesome if we had Maxine Dupree go get Otis and made Otis tag team champion with Austin Theory, and she's manipulating Otis the whole time, but that's a story for another video. And so now we go to the next week where we get the explanation from Bron Breakker. He comes out, everybody's cheering, right? Because he attacked Austin Theory. But he's like, no, nobody is going to cheer me. Not one person. I did not attack him for any of you. I attacked him for me. I have fallen down the card so hard, and everybody has given up on me. Therefore, everybody's a target. I don't care if you're babyface or a heel, everybody's a target. And then we have Paul Heyman. He comes out clapping, he's like, there he is, there's my boy, the guy that I remember. But Bron Breakker's like, no, when I was at my lowest, you abandoned me. Remember when you said I needed to impress you so you would help me? No, your meal ticket is now gone, so now you're coming to me? Well, you need to impress me before I let you represent me. And so Bron Breakker just leaves and Paul Heyman's like, but. Okay, so now we go to Oba Femi. Oba Femi comes out and he says, all right, I've vanquished the beast. It's time for my King of the Ring championship match. See, I could probably wait for a big PLE like Money in the Bank or even WrestleMania, but no, it is time for the ruler to be champion. Roman, I want you next week on Raw. I know, everyone's like, no way Roman would wrestle on a Monday Night Raw. I've already solved that. And it's going to make a lot of people mad, but it should make a lot of people mad because that's what wrestling is. Roman Reigns, he has no choice, right? Roman Reigns comes out and he is going to defend his title against Oba Femi. Now, the key is why it has to be on Raw is because we can't have people pay for this because there's going to be a giant screw job here, and I think it would be bad to have this match on a PLE. We have Roman Reigns on one side, Oba on the other, the bell rings, and spear. Roman is speared by Bron Breakker. Disqualification, and Roman wins. It's like, what is happening? Braun instantly gets up before Oba can get his bearing straight. Spear. 2 spears. And now Oba's down. Both are down. And he grabs a microphone. He says, I am the leader of the new generation. Oba, you reminded me of who I am, and I'll prove it by becoming a champion before you, Oba. So now Oba no longer has his King of the Ring title shot because, well, Roman won the match, and Roman comes out and he says, sorry, Oba, but now you're the back of the line, and you're gonna hate that, right? And you should hate that because Roman is a heel. Roman is a heel who is ducking Oba Femi, but Roman Reigns still can't allow disrespect. Bron Breakker speared him, so he sends the Usos after Bron Breakker, and Oba Femi is calling Roman a coward, so he sends Jacob Fatu after Oba Femi. Those guys, we can have a little feud right there for a little bit before Oba and Bron Breakker, they turn their attention towards each other, because Oba's like, yeah, I'm not through with you either, Braun. And so now, those two, after dealing with the henchmen of the bloodline, and so begins their actual feud. They're going to have the first match, right? And Bron Breakker will actually beat Oba in the first matchup. And people are going to be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that. We knew Bron Breakker was like, that he was legit, but it's kind of still an upset. But then they go and have a second matchup, and Oba wins the second match. This is taking us throughout the year. And before they can have a third matchup, well, it's now time for the Royal Rumble, and they both want to enter it. And that's kind of one of the side stories, right? So now we get to the Royal Rumble. Number 1, Bron Breakker. Number 2, Oba Femi, and this is reminiscent of last year when Oba Femi was number 1 and Bron Breakker was number 2. But this time, instead of a quick elimination, they go at it, right? And they're going to go at it all the way until the end of the Rumble. So number 1, number 2, number 29, number 30. And Oba Femi will actually eliminate Bron Breakker. He loses. Oba Femi comes out and he says, Roman, I'm picking you at WrestleMania. So this then means the Elimination Chamber will then become the number 1 contendership match for the SmackDown Championship. And you have 5 credible opponents in the Elimination Chamber. And on the 6th qualifying match, right, 2 SmackDown guys, and then suddenly Bron Breakker's music hits, and he comes out with Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman has proven himself worthy by getting a Raw guy of Bron Breakker into a qualifying match for the Elimination Chamber. And Bron Breakker wins, he goes into the chamber, and he wins the Elimination Chamber. So now you have Oba and Bron Breakker each going to the main event of WrestleMania. Oba picked Roman Reigns, so he's night 2. Bron Breakker, and he is the night 1 main event. Bron Breakker is going to win. So is Oba Femi. But here's the thing. Bron Breakker says, I told you, Oba Femi, I would be champion before you. He will win the moral victory in the feud because he got it one day before Oba Femi. And now we've created a John Cena, Batista situation here where you got 2 top guys on 2 different brands just holding it down. And the next time they go face to face with one another, it'll be a totally different ball game. Bron Breakker will have been a champion. He would have been totally rebuilt. He would be huge again at this point. And this would be their official 3rd match because the Royal Rumble doesn't count as their 3rd match. This will be their 3rd match, and it could be the main event of WrestleMania 44 at this point. And that is how I would rebuild Bron Breakker while making Oba and Braun have a generational feud. Book that, Triple H. Feel free to steal it. Feel free to steal that. All right, let's do some more hot takes. But first, I need you to tell me, who do you think would win the 3rd matchup between Oba, Braun, and my situation? Comments below. All right, more hot takes. Ron Talk Tabletop says, Roman Reigns is a heel. Let's stop pretending, folks. He has to be a heel. After the beatdown that Jacob gave to Royce Keys, it didn't need to be like that. Once Jacob won, he didn't have to beat him down to the point that he's just a bloody mess. And then Roman's like, good job, ha ha ha. It's like, yeah, Roman Reigns is a heel. especially with the backstage segment, though, where he's just berating everybody. Like, you're not allowed to have friends, Jacob. That's like gaslighting. He literally gaslighting Jacob. Why would Roman care if Royce Keys and Jacob Fatu were super close? You know what I mean? Like, I love Roman Reigns. He's my tribal chief, but, like, he's a heel. Errol Noir says, are they ever going to put Lyra on TV again? She has been on the ad break segment since Saturday night's main event. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that. Why even bother turning her heel if we're going to create a great character, a great heel, have one of the best matches, I think the best match on Saturday night's main event, honestly, and then just, like, nothing. Literally nothing. Like, the ad break on Netflix doesn't count. It just doesn't count because it's not shown everywhere in the world. What was the point of turning her heel if we're just gonna poof, do nothing with her? Esther says, everyone wants the Vision to end, but I don't think they are bad. They can push Braun while still keeping him in the faction. When you say everybody wants the Vision to end, include me in that. Like, from the get, they just didn't have chemistry with one another. And then the injuries happened. The injuries, that wasn't even the reason why I wanted it to end, but then Fate stepped in and said, yeah, this faction sucks. But Esther, if you like them, like, more power to you. Just don't let me yuck your yum. Wrestle Don says, if we're doing LA Knight versus Roman at Money in the Bank, then it might as well be over for him because he needs the briefcase in order to have a chance. This is pretty much his last shot. Yeah, we better hope that it's LA Knight versus Roman at Triple Mania or Saturday night's main event. Long-term wise, LA Knight needs that briefcase more than a match that he will lose with Roman. The Pharaoh Meow says the reason why creative refused to make big players heels because they know they have to be creative with heels. So they keep everyone neutral so you don't have to write anything creative anymore. Honestly, that's an interesting take, and you might be kind of right. Because Chad Gable Penta, did they do anything interesting leading into their matchup? I mean, yeah, it was a great match, but, like, honestly, I remember more about the root beer dog than I do the matchup itself or the feud, because there was no feud. There was nothing interesting. So, like, we need some real heels. My camera keeps overheating, so I might have to stop soon. Let's just keep going, though. Najib says, Oba is doing so good, I don't believe he needs a person like Paul Heyman. He is the total package. Unless Oba Femi is willing to go full heel, quit the strut, quit the posing, quit everything. The music needs to change. Like, don't turn him heel. Like, the fans don't want to boo the guy right now. We could have made him heel coming onto the main roster, but, like, now everybody's just in love with the guy. You would have to do a serious repackaging. You'd have to take away everything the fans love in order to turn him heel. And I don't think WWE does that stuff anymore. Like, when Seth Rollins was supposed to be the main heel of the company, he was still getting the crowd to sing his song. WWE just wants to sell right now. So if Oba Femi was to become a heel and still do the strut with Paul Heyman, it would be weird. It'd be weird. So, like, yes, keep those two apart. WTF Patch says every generation has had their defining rivalry. Hogan, Savage, Austin, Rock, Cena, Orton, Roman, Seth. Do you think Brock and Oba as the next defining rivalry? I don't, because honestly, this was only, a 6-month, 8-month feud? So, yeah, Seth, Roman, that went forever. Orton, Cena, that went forever. Rock, Austin, you get what I'm saying? These are multi-year feuds. Oba Brock is going to be a really good feud, not generation defining. However, it will give Oba Femi a huge thing to spotlight on his resume. Nike fan says, LA Knight, is terrible on the mic. That promo tonight was awful. I disagree. I thought it was actually good. I don't know what to tell you. What did you not like about it? I really like the back and forth between Roman and LA Knight. I feel Roman owned LA Knight, but I do feel also that LA Knight got a good couple shots in. Sean Alvario says that was a cool cliffhanger at the end with Rey Mysterio and Roman. I'm very interested to see what Rey is planning for Roman at Triple A. Maybe we bring in Zilla Fatu, like Roman reaches out to his family and gets Zilla in AAA, or Zilla Fatu is the son of Umaga, or we maybe get the Usos to go after the tag team titles, the AAA titles, against the War Raiders, and that gives exposure. I don't see Roman Reigns fighting anybody on AAA. He makes an appearance, maybe. Though, if we want to make LA Knight face Roman in that spot, that might be cool. And then when LA Knight loses, inevitably, he can then go and get the Money in the Bank. Tusev Golf says, Braun best tread lightly before he gets buried again. I am really hoping that they're just not going to feed Bron Breakker to Oba Femi. Like, for real. I love Bron Breakker. I love Oba Femi too, but like, I would love for both of them to just succeed. And I just fear we're gonna Finn Balor the guy. We heat up Bron Breakker just enough to feed him to somebody else. Alfonso Passion says, actual woman fighting for a title and having a feud that's meaningful? I know, right? Crazy. I love how WWE is trying to like make it seem like this 105 days without any title defenses was like part of the story here. It's like, we're not buying it. But, you know, better late than never, I guess. Not only does Liv now have one feud with a top star, Becky Lynch, she has two feuds, one with Stephanie Vakir. So, like, yeah, that's good stuff. Mr. Pete says, dare I say the best Raw of 2026. I've seen a lot of people saying that this was like an amazing Raw. I forgot to grade it last night with my 1 out of 10 chops because I was so focused on the fact that Bron Breakker is not, that he needs to be rebuilt before going up against Oba Femi. So like last night I probably would have gave it a 7 or 8, but today I'm like thinking about it because I slept on it. I'm like, yeah, that was probably a 9. That was probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Jessica Nunzo says, Becky really is the best women's champion because she really did elevate the Intercontinental Championship, and now that she's going after Liv's championship, it seems like it's going to get very interesting. You know, honestly, I think you're right. I think you might be right. Becky Lynch, like, for the way she elevated the Intercontinental title, like, that felt like the most important title for a little bit, to be real, and instantly getting in Liv Morgan's face, like, suddenly made Liv Morgan credible again. That is how good Becky Lynch is. And that's not just me saying it. Jessica actually said it too. Dashie Negan says, the better Raw in months. My favorite is Joe Hendry got destroyed by Bron Breakker and was the highlight. I'm worried about Big Cass. Something tells me in a few months he'll be back at catering. Yeah. He's definitely the new Rusev. So I don't know. I think Big Cass will be better in the tag team division than the singles. So maybe let him just run in this singles division. Let some other guys get some wins, and then we bring in the realest guy in the room, Enzo Amore, and then those two can go and have a dominant tag team run. They, like, for real, get those two back in the tag team division. Eric Shook says, the last couple months proved how great Becky is. Happy to see her and Stephanie back. Yeah, I'm very happy to see them both back. Fairy Tale for Life says, I think Joe Hendry is 100% a jobber to the stars now. I don't think he's a jobber, but at the same time, the guy's not ever going to win the top title. He's going to be kind of like Zack Ryder. Every once in a while, he's going to get a decent push. He might even win a ladder match for the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania after like 10 years, but at the end of the day, the guy's not going to be facing Roman Reigns, not even in Saudi Arabia. Joe Hendry is there to be a mid-card act, and that's not an insult. You need mid-card guys. All right, boys. All right, girls. Those are your hot takes for Monday Night Raw. Thanks so much for putting up with my crazy thoughts, ideas, and hot takes. See ya, bye.